want me to apologize for using street fighter terminology like subhuman mongrels, but that leftist, mindless, soulless, unprofessional, dishonest media will constantly level allegations of pedophile and draft dodger towards me, and no one seems to mind that they lie while I'm just using metaphorical street language to describe corrupt, power-abusing elected officials who break their vow, violate their vow to the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, there's some social justice for you, Ben.
All right, I'm going to ask you a very direct question. Subhuman mongrel is a derogatory term. Most people agree with that. Did you cross the line by calling the President of the United States of America that? And if you saw Barack Obama, would you apologize to him for saying that about him?
Yes, I would. I did cross the line. I do apologize, not necessarily to the president, but on behalf of much better men than myself, like the best governor in America, Governor Rick Perry, the best attorney general in America. God, just think if America had an attorney general as great as Greg Abbott like we do here in Texas. So on behalf of those professional politicians and those who put their heart and soul into representing we the people so accurately, like the gentleman I just mentioned, and people like Louie, Gohmert, and Sid Miller, and Ted Cruz. There's so many great constitutionally driven we the people representatives out there that I do, Ben, live on your show, Ted Nugent, I apologize for using the street fighter terminology of subhuman mongrel instead of just using more understandable language such as violator of his oath to the Constitution, the liar that he is. The president lied when he said we can keep our doctors and we can retain our health care, period, and that his Department of Defense and Department of Justice called the Allah Akbar terrorism at Fort Hood workplace violence. Those are the real offensive occurrences in America. So, yes, Ben, I apologize for using the term subhuman mongrel, and I will try to elevate my vernacular to the level of those great men that I'm learning from in the world of politics.
My guest will be Ted Nugent. Wendy Davis is fundraising a significant amount of money outside of the state because of your comments that you made. Does that bother you, knowing that even our own campaign workers have mocked Greg Abbott, who you were campaigning with, for being in a wheelchair? Is there a double standard there? The media did not cover that. They're covering you. They're not covering her own supporters mocking a man who's handicapped.
Well, yeah, you're identifying some self-evident truth that educated, caring, conscientious Americans understand clearly. So, no, number one, I don't believe that she's going to get $1 more because of anything that Ted Nugent said. I believe that the left is so entrenched, they are so dedicated to dismantle this experiment in self-government. They want to fundamentally transform America into something dramatically and drastically and dastardly less than it is today, and they are on the fast track to doing so. They have a commander-in-chief who judges by color of skin instead of content of character, for example, in the Trayvon Martin situation. We have an attorney general who runs guns to Mexican drug gangs. We have an IRS jackbooted thuggery agency who targets political opponents. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it. And my dad, who served in World War II, just like the heroes of the U.S. military today, who are heartbroken at what this government represents under Barack Obama and Eric Holder and Hillary Clinton and Dick Durbin and Sheila Jackson Lees and the Wendy Davises of the world, they are heartbroken that these people want to fundamentally not just transform, but dismantle the greatest quality of life in the history of humankind. So I constantly fight for that, and they are such masters of smoke and mirrors and deception and fraud and the Saul Alinsky, Joseph Goebbels, propaganda ministry that they're running amok. So it's guys like you and I and a bunch of conservatives out there that are doing our best to spotlight the cockroaches, and I appreciate your efforts.
I want to deal directly with the reason why you campaigned with Greg Abbott, and that is the flip-flop of Wendy Davis on guns. We're going to take a very quick break. 1048 on WBAP. It is the Ben Ferguson Show. Uncle Ted Nugent joining me now. Ted, you're going to laugh at this, but you know exactly why I'm asking you this question. People are already blowing up on Twitter saying that your apology was not a real apology, that you went on a rant afterwards, so it's not real. So I'm going to ask you directly. Are you apologizing to the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, for calling him a subhuman mongrel?
Yes.
If he hears this, and there's a good chance it's going to be played later today, and he's watching or listening, what would you say to him directly?
Good Lord, there's an agenda for you. He's violated so many laws. He's violated his oath to the Constitution. He has scammed the people so drastically since his campaign. In fact, back when he was a senator in Illinois, he's done so many terrible, wrong things for America. He is literally taking us on the fast track from being the greatest quality of life in the world and the most productive nation in the world to being something much less on all those levels. So it would take a long conversation. It would certainly be more poignant and more dramatic than the Bill O'Reilly interview, because I really believe that Barack Obama really wants to not just fundamentally transform America, but he wants to dismantle America. He thinks that hard work and productivity should be punished and that refusing to be productive should be rewarded. So he's the wrong guy for the United States. He's the wrong guy to be the president of the United States. And I think his entire agenda is anti-American.
My guest will be Ted